in Maine. One must die, chase the cat.
Good evening and welcome to Posse Presents. Tonight's show is a little bit of a departure from the usual fare, usual topic of Posse Presents. You know, it's still very much connected to our adoptable pets, and definitely falls into the category of animal welfare, which of course is what's on my banner and what the show is all about. With me tonight is Ruth Stanley from Wolf Central, and there we have the Wolf Central logo, which is far beyond cool. Now, what we have to keep in mind that animal welfare includes wildlife.
Yes, it does.
And dogs are derived from wolves. Now, Ruth, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I'm just, you know, if I can just like divulge a little bit of how like we came together. It's very cool because I wrote an article about your place of business, one of your employer, and also had messaged Wolf Central to come on the show, and then we met completely by accident and realized, oh my God, that's her. So it was like really, it was like one of those really cool moments, like fate and meant to be and everything. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is.
And so here you are now because you agreed to do the show, and I'm thrilled. And we have little wolves with us, little mascots. Ruth, tell us about Wolf Central.
Wow. Wolf Central is a 501c3 located right in Southington, Connecticut. We are all about bringing wildlife education programs to the community and helping other wildlife, other nonprofits with the same goals and doing things like that. So it's something that we've been volunteering with for about 5 years, and we finally took the plunge this year and decided to really become official, and that way we can get the word out to more people and have more validity with everything. And we've gotten off to a great start. We've gotten a lot of support from a lot of people, and it's really exciting. It's been a very exciting start of the year.
It is. It's almost, people wouldn't necessarily expect in Southington, Connecticut to have, you know, something so connected to the wolves, because you think of them out in the Badlands and the West and the Southwest, and
that's it.
It's very, very neat that you guys are so local and that everybody can get involved.
Everybody can. We've been bringing wolves to Southington every year for the past 5 years, and we've gotten a lot of response. And you know, wildlife conservation begins in your own backyard.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of backyards, I mean, I've been blessed because I've had, you know, it's a blessing and a curse, but, you know, from wild turkeys to coyotes to foxes to bears, I've had them all right here in Waterbury.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
oh, wow.
You know, it's out there in wildlife. If you're an animal person, if you value the life of your domestic animals, you've got to value the life of wildlife just as much.
You do. And that's one thing that we want to get out there, is that we need to learn to coexist with the wildlife and give them some space. I mean, they have every right to be here along with us.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, we don't want them running around the playground when our kids are out there.
No.
But there's got to be a balance somewhere.
There does. And, you know, people have to understand that they are out there.
They are.
And, you know, that's one of those things. I'll just digress for a moment once again. You know, you can't leave your animals outside unattended.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, even as far as like the hawks will scoop up a small dog in a heartbeat. It's no more than a rabbit to them.
Exactly.
You know, there's dogs who have been lost battling coyotes, and cats fallen to foxes and all of that. We're not going to see wolves in our backyards.
No.
But, you know, we do have to think and be aware of the fact that they're out there.
That they are out there. Problem we have around here is the coyotes.
Yeah.
And the coyotes have really, they're prolific.
Yes.
And they have gotten much more brazen and much bolder, and they've learned to pack. and we often hear them howling back and forth at each other.
Oh, yeah.
In my neighborhood down in the Southington, Cheshire area, and they're more fun to watch than the television most times.
Oh, yeah. But they'll take down the dog in your
will.
backyard in
They
a heartbeat.
Or the cat.
Yeah.
You know, it's really tough when you lose a pet and everything, but you've got to be responsible with your pet also, and
Absolutely.
keep them inside or keep an eye on them.
Absolutely.
Because those animals out there, the wild animals, are just trying to survive.
Sure. And dusk and dawn are their times.
That is.
So that's just, you know, don't leave your animals out overnight. Bring them in, you know, if you're going to let them out that early, you know,
Make
supervise
some noise
them.
first, usually,
Yeah.
too, because it tends to scare them off.
Exactly.
Or at least alerts them that you're around.
Right.
And that usually works.
Yeah.
So, but that's, you know, it's something that we've talked about doing for a long time, and it's going to be really good.
Yeah, no, it's just I've had several conversations with Ruth, and she's fabulous, and the things that she's involved with are fabulous. Tell us some of what Wolf Central does.
Some things that Wolf Central does. Well, Wolf Central, one thing that we have put together, because we're really big on education and conservation, we have put together an education series for this year. The education series is going to be once a month from April through October. And we have got speakers coming, like the first one is an animal control officer in the state of Connecticut, and he's going to come talk about Connecticut wildlife, the coyotes, the bears, the deer, what kind of calls he gets, how to treat these animals if you find them, how to behave if they're around. And
there is a code of behavior.
There really is, and I do a lot of hiking myself. I wouldn't know what to do if I ran into a bear. So I'm going to learn it from Gary the end of this month. Excuse me, that would be Mark, the end of this month. He's coming out. We have got a Yellowstone National Park ranger.
Wow,
coming.
That's amazing. Coming all the way to Connecticut.
He lives in Connecticut. He's a part-time ranger out there, but he lives very close by, and he's a professional photographer. He's going to come do a program for us about the wolves and bears of Yellowstone.
Wow, that's one
this.
to check out.
It's going to be a really good program. We're looking for a wildlife rehabilitator to come do a program for us. We have some other wolf programs coming up. Wolf Watcher is a national coalition. They're going to be doing one of our programs, talking to us more about the two sides of the whole wolf movement that's going on right now in the country and in the world. And we will end our education series with Mission Wolf of Colorado coming to do their Ambassador Wolf program in October, and that has been a hit for the past 5 years.
And they actually have the wolves.
They do. They bring live wolves with them. It has been wonderful.
Could you imagine? And you've gotten to meet the wolves.
I've gotten to meet the wolves. We have been working with them. We've been following them since 1998, but we have been working much closer with them, gosh, over the past decade, and we've had them in Southington, my hometown, for the last 5 years. So I've actually been kissed by a wolf.
That's phenomenal. That's just so exciting. I mean, you never dream something like that can actually happen.
You really, when you look into the eye of a wolf or any wild animal, you definitely learn a new respect for them.
Oh, sure.
And that's what Mission Wolf is all about. They want you to be able to look and see them and look into the eyes of the wolf and understand them.
Yeah.
And once you've made eye contact with them and they've made it with you, you have definitely, you're sold.
There's a connection now. It's real. It's not just some mythical creature. I mean, I think the wolf is very much mythicized.
It is.
And you know, there's all kinds of lore and, you know, just like things that it's not tangible to so many people until they actually get that hands-on.
Get hands-on, that's it. And we hear so many scary things about wolves, but people could learn a lot from a wolf.
Oh, sure.
You know, I mean, wolves work together very much. Their family unit, we can learn a lot from it, how they help each other and they work together.
Oh, yeah.
And
people can always learn from the animals because, you know.
I definitely agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, just for the way of coexisting, I mean, they're pure. Their souls are pure.
They are.
And their pack ethic and their, you know, their hierarchy and everything, you know, they're not malicious in the way people are towards each other.
Exactly, exactly. So, I mean, the things that they do are very much for survival. there's only been 1 or 2 cases of a wolf attacking a person in the country over 100 years. I mean, it's crazy. But there's a lot of controversy going on with that. And we've almost eradicated the gray wolf completely. And they did the reintroduction out in Yellowstone, and they're seeing them come back. And it's really a good thing, but it's a constant struggle.
Oh, sure.
Constant struggle. Our main thing, and Mission Wolf's main thing as far as the wolves and wolf-dog crosses go, is that wolves and wolf-dog crosses are not meant to be pets.
No, not at all.
They're meant to be in the wild. If you want to own a wolf, this is what you own.
Yeah, exactly.
Right here. And otherwise, you go for one of the wolves' descendants, and you get one of our dogs.
Yeah, a domestic dog. Exactly.
Yeah.
And seriously, if you can't make the commitment, a lifetime commitment to a dog, this is also what you need to get.
This is all, you're right.
Yeah.
You were right on that. No, but all of our dogs come from wolves, whether it's a Chihuahua or a Great Dane.
Yep.
Through selective breeding over thousands of years.
Yep.
We have gotten all these different breeds. And there's a lot of dogs out there that you have on your show that are needing homes.
Oh, yeah.
And those are the ones
Those are
that
the
we
ones
need
to focus
rescue.
on, not the ones that belong in the wild.
Exactly.
You know, people don't understand the nature of the difference
Right.
of that animal. When they cross them, there's just no way to know what you're getting, and it's not a domestic animal. It's not going to have that same instinct.
They're so cute when they're puppies.
Everything's cute when it's a puppy until
That's right. Then they grow up.
Yeah, until you realize how much work a puppy is.
That's it.
And until they grow up and they require your time. So
Well, that's the problem with a wolf. When they're a puppy, they are like, when it's a wolf pup, it's like a dog pup.
yeah,
And they're cute and they're roly-poly and they'll chew on your finger and everything.
Yeah.
But they get older and they reach maturity, where they reach that puberty stage, and now the kibble in the dish isn't enough.
right.
And they're wanting to chase the neighbor's cat.
Yep.
The 4-foot fence in the backyard is just a little jump for them. It's not enough.
Yep.
Out at the Mission Wolf Refuge, they actually have 10-foot fences, and they're double fences out there. So they're very, very protected, as much for the wolf's sake as for anybody else
Oh, sure.
out there. But it's you need to spend time with your animal, and there's so much time. Wolves need a lot of space and everything. So their goal is to go out of business because there's no more wolves and wolf dogs that need rescue.
Sure.
On that note, as I told you on the phone, Mission Wolf just took in 2 puppies yesterday. I'm not sure how old they are, but they're little guys. They're probably 8 weeks old. They came from Florida, and they're rescues. And they're hoping to join those 2 with the Ambassador Wolf Pack come May or June.
And that's a very cool thing, but it's a shame that they have to keep adding to that pack.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
that's a place for them to go, and it's a place for them to be safe, but if they could only be alone and out in the wild, not alone, but out in the wild and left alone.
Once they are bred
To
in
their nature.
captivity, they will always be behind a fence.
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing. Wild animals are meant to be just that. They're meant to be wild. They're meant to run free.
Exactly. Now, you guys do different events and outreach tables, and you meet with the public and try to get the public involved.
We love volunteers. We definitely love volunteers. Just talking to people and having people, getting people involved, even if it's by helping spread the word
Right.
about wildlife and educating people. We love having young people come see us.
Yep.
We've had groups of Boy Scouts that have come to the programs before, and when you reach one of them, you know you've done well.
Yeah.
Because these young people are the future for these animals.
Absolutely, and in
And-
every respect, because we talk about that a lot among us rescuers. You know, there's got to be someone to pass the torch on to.
Exactly.
Whether it's, you know, rescuing these animals who are getting killed in pounds, or the wildlife that even more so in the future are going to need
They're going to need it.
someone to speak up for them and defend them.
Yep. This weekend I'm doing this. Next weekend we're doing an outreach table at Pack Tracks Country Club in Southington. I think it's from 10 to 3. It's on Saturday. And we'll be there to talk to people and answer questions and show them pictures from events that
Yep.
we've done in the past.
And you have brochures too,
Yes,
which
we
I
do.
have to give props to the owner of the station, Steve Mandera, because he passed on your brochure. I don't know where he got it from, but he passed on your brochure to me, and here you are now.
And here we are.
So that's, you know, the power of the
a piece of
exposure.
paper.
Yeah, the exposure is just phenomenal. Do you want to show some pictures now?
Sure.
All right, Zach, can we get some of those pictures up? And Ruth will tell us what we've got here.
What we've got. This is from a Mission Wolf Ambassador Wolf program from 2 years ago. That black wolf right there is a gray wolf, but he's in a black stage. That is Zeb. He's only 18 months old in this picture.
And he's enormous.
He is enormous. The gray wolf to the right is Maggie. She is the alpha female in the pack and is about 10 or 11 years old. She has been the alpha for a long time. Sweet girl. She was actually in a litter that was raised for a movie, that was bred for a movie, and the producer decided to keep the males and was just going to get rid of the females.
Oh.
So Maggie and her sister Raven ended up out at Mission Wolf and traveled together for the first couple of years. And then Maggie decided she was going to be Queen Bee.
Oh boy.
Yes, and they had to split the two of them. But Maggie has been a wonderful ambassador for thousands of people countrywide. When they go out to these schools and different programs, they come out and they give people a chance to actually see a wolf. This one right here, Maggie is rolling. She is getting her story. You know what our dogs do.
Yep.
They go outside and roll in something that doesn't smell too lovely.
Uh-huh.
And then they come home and we scream at them. That's how a wild animal or a wolf will bring a story back to the pack. They'll go find a deer and they will roll in it and they will bring it back, letting the rest of them know, hey, look what I found.
Right.
So they can all go. And so they demonstrate that during the program as well.
So she's just picking up the sense of the floor and her surroundings to bring back with her.
They put something on it, and I cannot for the life of me right now remember what it is, but they put something on it that the wolves really like, and they always roll on it. And
that's really cool. Now, just going back for a second, the dark wolf has a famous relative.
He does. Zeb's uncle was one of them used for Twilight.
That's really cool.
And the young people absolutely love that.
Yeah.
So yes, he has a very famous relative.
Okay, so go ahead, Zach. Go ahead. I'm sorry that was just a point that I really thought we should make. Go ahead to the next. I guess we're going to go up two now, Zach. There we go.
This is just showing you the crowd that we get for the program. We do 2 educational programs in late October. Mission Wolf does a 3-week tour on the East Coast every year. We are so lucky to get them to Southington, and we usually get them for 2 programs in one night, back to back. And last year we had standing room only at both programs.
That's phenomenal.
It was unreal. And we've been told, fingers crossed, that we've earned ourselves a 3rd program for this year.
Nice.
So, you know, we're waiting to hear from the Northeast coordinator to find out what our dates are going to be, but we're very excited to have them come back this year and end our educational series with the live wolves and getting to see all of our friends again.
Sure. You know, it's about community too.
It really is.
And that's very, very important to keep your network strong and to keep your contacts going and to be able to stay in touch.
We have been very, very lucky. We've met so many good people, a lot of really strong animal lovers. People bring us their dogs at the outreach tables. They'll say, this is my wolf.
Right.
And it could be a dachshund, you know, they call it their little wolf, whatever it is. I mean, they'll bring it down and let us see it. And we've really got a connection now with a lot of these people. I can't go anywhere without people howling at me.
I promise not to do that to you.
I had this made for me by one of our friends recently. A little shout out to Pammy there.
We'll show what Ruth is pointing at when we're back on the camera.
There you go.
So let's move on to the next. What do we got next, Zach? What was Zach? There we go.
Oh, there we go. This is something that we're doing as Wolf Central. We're getting out there to the community and educating the young people.
And that's
very much.
so important. Like we were saying, you know, getting the young people involved and making it real for them.
PJ is one of our volunteers, and his daughter Emily is in 3rd grade at one of the Southington elementary schools. PJ went in and did a talk for their classroom last fall and talked to them about wolves and the ecosystem. And then he sponsored a wolf for them, and from Mission Wolf. And when they got that in, they were very happy. They posted it on the board, had their picture taken, and they feel they're famous now.
Oh, of course.
Because they're on Facebook
Uh-huh.
and everything. And PJ loved doing it. He does a great job. His daughter is very proud of him. But he goes out and talks to these classes. He's wanting to go out and talk to more classes. He really enjoyed doing it. He's learning a lot, wanting more information all the time. What can he add to his program?
And bringing it to the schools is like such a fabulous way of, you have a captive audience, first of all.
Definitely.
And you can engage the children, and they do find themselves becoming interested, whether they start out being that way or not.
Definitely.
And it can be a very life-changing experience for them.
I didn't even tell you this on the phone. One of the girls that was at our first program 5 years ago, I think she was 15 years old at the time. She got so engaged with the wolves. She went out to Colorado to see the refuge.
Wow.
And spent a week out there. And they love having volunteers go see them as well. She is someone that's still active with us as a volunteer. And I'm very jealous.
Yeah, right?
I haven't made it out there yet, but I'm
You will.
hoping one day I will.
You will.
So, but right now we've got a lot of educating to do right here.
Sure. And, the classroom situation is certainly a very effective way
Definitely.
to get out there. What else do we got, Zach?
There's our pack.
And these are the wolves out.
These wolves are the wolves from Mission Wolf. This was at the end of the tour, their East Coast tour 2 years ago. Do you remember the Halloween storm?
Oh, how could I forget? I was without power for how many days?
We were stuck up on top of the mountain at Mohonk Mountain House in New York, in New Paltz. They do wolf programs there Halloween weekend every year. And
appropriate.
Yes. And we got stuck up there with all that snow and the wolves. And
There's no better way, I don't think, to be stuck is with a bunch of wolves.
It was unbelievable getting to see them play in the snow. It's the first time we had seen it. You know how your dog behaves in the snow when they get all frisky, and
absolutely.
The wolves do the same thing.
And there we go right there. That's hilarious.
So the three of them were having a really good time in the snow while we stood around and froze.
Yeah, well, I would freeze to watch that. Absolutely.
Definitely. I wish it would snow every year for them.
I lose patience with mine when they want to dilly-dally, but that I would stand there and freeze indefinitely to be able to watch them play. That's a wonderful thing.
And that black one there, that's him in 18 months again.
Yeah, that's just amazing. All right, so I think that encompasses all of our pictures. Oh, there's one more. What do you got, Zach? Oh, how can we forget that one?
That one. That's our little thank you at the end. After really getting out there and letting people know that the wolves are coming, and the night of the program, and you've got all these people coming in, it's such a good feeling to know that we reached all those people. But then we hightail it to Mohonk, and we get to we get to get up close with the wolves, and it's something that's definitely a thank you at the end of our time.
And that's your little piece of forever right there.
That's it. That's it. So that's our Maggie, and she is wonderful.
That's amazing. I mean, you'll have that forever. Not just the memory, but the picture, and what you carry in your heart from that.
That's it. Hey, I look at those pictures, and that's why I'm burning the candle at both ends lately.
That's why you're doing what you're doing.
That's it.
And all right, we'll take the camera back, Zach, because it's about that time. We're running our mouths.
I know.
all to the
I can't
pictures.
believe it.
I told you. See, I told you we would talk our way through 27 minutes with no problem. Now, what you've got there.
Well, besides my own wolf, this I wanted to show you. This is made from the casting of Zeb, the 18-month-old. This was his paw print.
Yeah, that's amazing.
When he was just a pup.
Let's hold this up so that everybody can actually. It weighs a ton.
It's pewter.
That's actually his paw print.
That's his paw print.
Can you just imagine?
And that's from the Halloween storm.
Yeah.
And but that's something that we have to remember too.
Yeah, 18 months. We're not quite done growing either.
We're not done quite growing.
No.
No.
So that's absolutely amazing, and I think that's beautiful the way it's put on the plaque like that.
Kevin Sear made that.
Okay.
Yeah, he is the other co-founder. He and I are co-founders of Wolf Central.
I'll let you hold that.
Okay.
Because that's heavy, and I'm.
That's okay. I got it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So now, on a general basis, if someone wanted to get in touch with you,
in touch with me, we're on Facebook, facebook.com/Wolf Central. We also have a website. It is www.wolfcentral.org. Or they can call me. My phone number is 860-628-6558.
Okay, so let's run through all that again. You're on Facebook, and I did share the Wolf Central Facebook page on the Pound Posse Presents page. So if you're missing any of this, or you're not, you can always check with me and get it through there. 30 seconds, I'm going to cut you to do your... Okay. You have your website, which is...
wolfcentral.org.
Okay, and your phone number once again?
860-628-6558.
All right, so if anybody's interested in finding out more, or volunteering and finding out where the activities are going to be, what events are coming up, that's the perfect way to get all the information firsthand. Ruth, it's been really great having you on. We're just about done.
Thank you for having me.
I can't thank you enough, really, because this is just such a wonderful experience. And so here we've got my credits, and we're going to say peace, love, and dogs, in your case, wolves. And I want to say happy 100th birthday to my grandmother. If she were alive today, would have been her 100th birthday. So good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And we're going to close with a couple of pictures that I'd like to share with you.
Hello, I'm Erin Kennedy, the director of the Plymouth